Well, a big part of what makes San Francisco a unique place to live is its commitment to arts and cultural institutions. San Francisco really led the way in 1969 when we became one of the first cities to actually set aside a percentage of all new development dollars and set it aside for art. Just think about it. In the last number of years, San Francisco's placed more than 1,000 permanent art structures throughout the city and county of San Francisco and invested some $44 million directly into some of these public arts projects. And as a consequence, have really been the city that has led by example and become the inspiration for cities around the country that have replicated our model. We've also done something remarkable in those 40 years. We've invested disproportionately in our neighborhoods, not just in public art, as was referenced a moment ago, but in neighborhood arts institutions that have really become legends in our city. And as a consequence, our city is prospering, I think, today more than most because of it, meaning the arts investment has created a better quality of life. It's driven tourism. It creates economic stimulus and economic development opportunities. It anchors small business communities. You can see here in the last 40 years that it's brought new cultural centers throughout the city, writers' corps in our city, community grants and partnerships throughout the city that are creating jobs and not just creating artistic expression, but are creating opportunities for people to maintain their status as San Franciscans, even if they can't afford to live here, but to work here, though we recognize that is an area where we continue to do more, and hope you'll take a look at the slides as it relates to economic development, where we talk about some of our housing strategies. One of the things as well that we've done that I'm particularly proud of is focused on enhancing our public art beyond just the minimums that we've been doing for the arts program set aside. And that is trying to find additional ways to augment it with private sector dollars, private donations, and the like. Just in the last few months, take a look at the slide on the left side of this slide, where we've identified all the permanent public arts projects, including right here at the Academy of Sciences that we put in, but one that notably deserves some attention. That's part of that partnership where we developed a lot of private sector support, and that's the Abraham Lincoln Brigade Memorial, which is out there right near the Valancourt Fountain, right near the Embarcadero. I was so proud to be out there supporting that memorial. So proud of Luis Cancel and the work that he did and others did before him to get that permanent art done in the city and remind people that important part of our history, or the history of Spain and fascism and the like. We've also been doing a lot with temporary public art. And I know I get a little criticism for this because we're actually able to do things that maybe permanently we couldn't do because no one would quote unquote accept them, but I think need to be done. Let me just show you some examples. Bourgeois Spider down there at the Embarcadero. I love it. Good people can disagree, but I think it excites, it invites, it challenges, it makes people think. That's what art is all about. It's not just about beauty from an aesthetic perspective. It's about challenging the mind and imagination. And I think Louise has always done that. And what a gift it was for our city. She is getting up there in years. She's an extraordinary person and talent, and the fact that we were afforded this opportunity, I think, is something that we should celebrate. As well, Manolo Valdes, these were in front of City Hall where that Victory Garden was. There were 5 or 6 similar sculptures like this throughout the Civic Center Plaza. These have been in the world's most famous capitals, from parts of Spain, Paris, and other parts of the world where Manolo Valdes has been afforded the opportunity to put his public art. We finally got some temporary art here from him, and I think it was a highlight for the year. We also focused on the environment. We did these cool globes theory, all part about the environment and educating our kids and about a sustainable future. And these cool globes were all up and down Crissy Field. We also had them throughout the city and county of San Francisco. These are just some examples of some of the temporary art that we've also done in addition to those permanent arts. You could see on these slides, when I say art's part of the vibrancy of our economic lifeblood, take a look at these numbers. 2008 study, $1 billion in local economic activity, 28 8,000 full-time employees, just reinforcing what I was just saying a moment ago. $93 million generated in local and state revenue. For those that think art doesn't matter, it is at the core an economic development strategy. It anchors, again, a cultural identity and a diversity and that quality of imagination. It invites and excites and enlivens. It's everything that a great city should be about, and I couldn't be more proud of some of our efforts that continue to be advanced in the city. You saw the new Jewish Contemporary Museum finally go up. Daniel Libeskind, his work right in the Yerba Buena Gardens area. You saw the De Young Museum go up in the last 18 or so months across the way from the new Academy of Science. You're going to see the new King Tut exhibit next year in the De Young Museum. That's back. I remember as a child waiting in line forever when that exhibit first came. I still remember it. What a wonderful gift it is to be able to go back and see it from a different perspective, but also to offer that to another generation of children. I want to thank the De Young and the board trustees for bringing that to the city. We also have developed partnerships with the Shanghai Museum. The World Expo is in 2010. It's in Shanghai. We now have a partnership with the Asian Art Museum and the Shanghai Museum to bring the history of art from 1850 to 2010 and the legacy of art in Asia, particularly China and Shanghai area, into San Francisco. Treasures from the Shanghai Museum, 6,000 years worth of Chinese art, which was an exhibit that we had in 1983, is certainly indelible in people's minds and memory. This new arts exhibit from 1850 to 2010, we hope we'll have that same indelible memory implanted on people when they come to exhibit that as we celebrate with China the 2010 World Expo. We're also trying to anchor through community benefit districts arts and culture as well, and I thought this was worthy of highlighting. We talked in another slide about the artist community in Bayview Hunters Point we're preserving as part of the redevelopment plan there. We talked about community benefits districts in the context of economic development strategies and anchoring neighborhoods. Well, here's a way we can do it in advanced arts and arts programs. We had the Harlem of the West out in the Western Addition. We now have funding to spruce up the streets, and you go down, if you go down to Fillmore Street, you'll see some artistic components that are part of the streetscape improvements that remind people of our proud history and heritage as a jazz district. And of course you have Yoshi's now. That is up and running. It's spectacular and wonderful. I can't encourage you more to go down there, right near the Fillmore Center in the Fillmore. All of that, again, bringing back to life art, not just being the visual arts, but it's dance and it's music and the like. And speaking of dance and music and visual arts, we did something a couple years ago we'd never done in the city. We actually did a Mayor's Art Award. A pretty simple thing to do. It's just like doing a Mayor's Teacher Award. We never did that in this town. Now we're doing it for artists. Ruth Azawa, who has her art just across the street here at the De Young Museum, really a world-class artist. She was our first recipient, and we just did Alonzo King on Lions Ballet. It was an amazing event over at the War Memorial with Alonzo. 381 other artists have been recognized by the Arts Commission in one way, shape, or form. It's just all going to what makes our city a special and unique place, or people like Ruth, people like Alonzo. Another thing we've been doing is arts education. Every child, every classroom, K through 12, we're investing in comprehensive arts education, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. And we're backfilling where the federal and state government have left off. They're not investing in arts education. The city has just stepped up and stepped in, doubled our investment per pupil investment in arts education, and that's another big part of our strategy for arts enhancements in the city. So with that said, I think the city's made a lot of progress on cultural institutions in advancing the cultural identity of this city and investing in our neighborhood arts facilities and centers, public and as well as private art. We can do a lot more in the future. We look forward to that. But arts is an important part of the identity of our great city, an important part of our economic future, as well as our social and cultural one.